Hi Sparrows, halo, halo, halo. It's 7:09. I know we're running behind. However, technical difficulties sometimes jumps on, but why would you be surprised or not? It's nothing new here, right? So I think it's just because it's a little juicier tonight, a little juicier than normal because I've got Tiffany Williams on with me tonight. I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment you have opportunity to change. Therefore, tonight is a bit different. I have family in the house. I have so much to talk about. And I'm looking forward to you guys chiming in. Tiffany is here. She is Tiffany Williams of Williams Design as well as Zone Music. So it's an introduction of her to you, one, and on the other side of that, it's basically showing some kudos, saying hello and thank you to Tiffany for all that she does for me. It's not possible for me to continue to soar on the way I have been and not spotlight her. You guys hear me talk about her all the time. She's more than family. She's a part of the Sparrows squad. So with that being said, tonight's going to be a little extra because these streets are not kind. And of course, if you saw my show last week, then you know.
All right.
It's time to have conversations about quite a few things. It's time to have that conversation. And we're going to talk a bit about love. We're going to talk about, could you grab my book, please? We're going to talk about inspiration as well as, it's right here, Tiffany, as well as about relationships. You know, you can't help but talk about these things. And of course, with what I do, I hear all types of juicy stories, constant juicy stories. So welcome into the room. And while I wait for Tiffany, I think she kind of stepped out to grab her music because you're going to get to hear some of her music tonight. And of course, you know, every conversation comes from my book, How I Became Fabulous and a Lady All the Time. As Tiffany, grab a copy of it. Here. And tonight we're coming from chapter 21. Chapter 21 being, now you guys have heard me talk about the guys, the pupitos. You've heard me talk about the professional bad boys, right? Well, tonight we're going to have an honorable mention of the Mighty Seven. I want to tell you a little bit more about the Mighty Seven. And I'm grateful to have this time with Tiffany. And who greater than to have these conversations with than her, right? So, Tiffany.
Yes.
Why don't you introduce yourself and let the Sparrows know who you are outside of being my niece and the honorable mention that I just shared.
Tiffany Williams. I am a graphic designer. I have my own two companies, which is Williams Design and Zone Music. Also work for Ross Apparel. I can't leave that out. That is my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Do graphic design for colleges, making t-shirts. And pretty much, I mean, that's it as far as professional. Personal, just laid back. That's it, laid back, funny. I'm a clown, definitely. And
she is that.
I'm a Williams.
She is a Williams. And it's no way we can have this conversation and not go into the depths of why is she so inclined to be in the arts. It doesn't matter if it's music, if it's graphics design. I chose this space and to bring Tiffany in because she's so much more than she gives herself credit for. I am auntie, so of course I can see things about her that she may not see within herself. And it's my job to spotlight those things and to push her to greater.
Right.
Every opportunity that I can have in order to make her the best at what she does. She's definitely in alignment with what she was born to do. And that is the whole point of this segment and how music and being an author in alignment of how they're truly one and the same. It's just when she creates her music, she creates t-shirts, she creates so much more. She actually created the cover to my book. And wait until book number 2 comes out. I have gone on and shared what the new title is. I thought it was I Am, I Accept Me, being bold, being brave, being fierce, right? It is now the truth of it all. It's about to be released sooner and, well, I won't say sooner than later, Tiffany.
Right.
It's kind of on 2-year delay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be pushed out a while back, right?
I was hoping to have 2 books released in 2017. Nobody does that. I wanted to be the first to do that. However, it's still a goal of mine to do, and it's never too late. However, Tiffany created this cover. She created this cover. And I'm so excited about what she does with the new cover, Sparrow Unleashed, because I am being unleashed. It's so much going on behind the scenes with me, and you know what? I don't keep secrets from you. I drop subtleties all over my timeline. I'm writing about it in book 2 and 3 and 4, 5. There are 5 books on Quest. I love that whistle. I love that song.
I was like, well, 5 books? I didn't know.
It's 5 books.
Okay.
You need to know the juice on that?
No, I'll get it later. I didn't know it was 5.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
This is the first one.
Right.
It's a part of a 3-part trilogy.
Okay.
Book number 2, Sparrow Unleashed, being all I said before. But it's basically the self-portrait of my transformation, of being brave, being bold, being fierce. So you get to see the unlayerings, what takes place after this took place. Book number 3 is going to be about all the love lessons and how I have gained a brand new heart because of everything that's taken place in my life, right? So book 4, if you haven't noticed, gratitude time is all up and down my timeline. There is going to be a book by Easter, well, next year.
Right.
Every time I put a time on it.
When you put a time on it, this when it gets pushed back. Oh my God, my eyes want to water now.
She's excited.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have to be careful of putting timelines on myself because I'm goal driven. I am challenge based, and that's just a part of my makeup of who I am. However, gratitude time is huge to me. I made mention of it here. All family and friends know about gratitude time, and it trips me out when it's 2 o'clock and somebody else says it's gratitude time, and so it's a big deal with that. Okay, that's 3. Book 4 is going to be me delving in more about Nicholas, Taylor, and Christian. Those are my 3 angels. So I'm going to delve a bit more about them. This book is founded because of losing Nicholas. And one of the points of why we are having this show tonight, talking about love, that 4-letter word, and what love does. Love is powerful. It is the ultimate emotion ever. It is. And who I became after losing Nicholas, after losing Taylor, after losing Christian. That's one form of love, but it's so many different types of love.
Right.
With Nicholas, and you know, I never mentioned his father in the book. Nobody ever asked about who was Nicholas's father. Nobody ever did. That's interesting. However, he is one of the mighty 7.
I guess they probably kind of didn't know how to.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah.
It's juicy.
I think some things you don't know how to, address as far as like, okay, she had to, like, who is it? And I'm pretty sure they probably went in their mind, like, who was she talking to? If they knew you.
Right. But then, I was very secretive about my beaux.
Right.
I didn't bring beaux home. I didn't introduce them to the family because that was just who I was at that phase of my life. I felt like if I ever brought somebody home, then that's letting family and friends know that I'm all the way serious with this person.
Right.
And I could be, however, not always. Not always. I was single and being single, having fun, living my life, and have had a very juicy one. Very juicy. It's a lot that I don't share about people that I know, places where I've been.
Ooh, you gotta turn your phone off.
I gotta turn my phone off.
Vibrates.
Yeah, let me turn that off. But Nicholas's father, he was my first love. He was that guy, and I'm just gonna leave it there. So after the conception of Nicholas, friends that had a night. And then guess what? Here comes Nicholas. Okay, was not playing the whole 9, right? So at the end of that, he was one of my dearest friends at the time. But by the time I learned about Nicholas and shared that bit of information with him, that's a whole nother story. That's all coming out in book 3. I can't give too much away right now. However,
right.
With him being the love of my life, it makes a difference. And then the whole saga, the whole unveiling and unfolding of what happened with Nicholas. It's things that happen in life that we don't know that's going to happen. However, I have changed and become who I am because of the loss of Nicholas. Needless to say, I had to make a decision between being mommy or keeping a friend. And it doesn't sound, I know it sounds bad, but it wasn't that. It wasn't the case that he gave me an option or something to do. He did not do that. However, I had to step into the role of my brave, my bold, and my fierce.
I thought you were going to say beautiful. Okay.
Beautiful too.
Bold and the beautiful.
Bold and the beautiful. Brave and fierce, So all of these unveilings are starting to take place where I am really putting myself on the stage to make example of myself to be able to help other people, because that is what I do, being a conscious lifestyle strategist, right? As well as an author. But thing is, I'm not going to give too much juice away with that because, and I almost said his name out loud. I'm not going to say his name, but he is one of the mighty 7.
Okay.
And yeah. So the decision I made at the time, I disappeared. It goes back to the whole fade to black. I did that, and I faded to black for 27 years this year. The juice is that will come out in book 3 is that baby daddy has resurfaced.
That's a disappearance. That ain't fade to black.
That is a disappearance. I do it well, and I tell friends that it can be done. If you don't want to be bothered, not to be found, it can be done. You have to choose to do that. But sometimes people like messy.
Right.
They like to keep things going back and forth. As I said in here, like a tennis match or saloon doors swing. So Tiffany created this cover. Tiffany has, because she knows me, and there's so many hidden elements in this cover that I'm willing to bet 99% of you had no idea. All the layers of me is hidden all over this book, front and back. If you haven't read the book, I suggest reading the book. What do you think, Tiffany?
Right. Read the book.
It's juicy. I didn't write it to be juicy. However, when I read it, I was like, that's juicy. I cried, I laughed, I poured my heart and soul in it. However, it could have been a whole lot more. But I realized after completing the book and then having a conversation with my mama said, you wasn't as vulnerable as you could have been. It's a lot that you still did not say. And she was right, because I was protecting the 7. Had nothing to do with them really, but I just don't want to out anybody, right, Tiff?
Right.
Because it doesn't always help.
Don't pull a Queen Sugar.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Because I don't serve to gain anything from trying to hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. I've forgiven them and I moved on with my life. 7 days. You're rude about it. 7 days is all I have, and I'm move on. Literally. I'll forget about you.
What do people say they need more time, though?
Do you really need more time?
I get. Well, it depends on the person and the mentality where they are in that
consciousness. Moment. Yeah.
Because 7 days, you know.
You think that's? It can be done. I've done it. Well, actually, I'm down to maybe 2.5 now.
See, it's not 7 anymore. So
it's not 7. It's 2 to 2.5.
I don't know. I guess people will feel like they need to go through the motions, so they take more time.
They take more time, and it is a choice to take more time. But with me, I expedite every layer of grief in that amount of time, and I'll tell you why I do that. It's not a man on the planet of this earth that sulks and cries over a breakup with a woman. I've never met one. So,
I would think 2019 they probably do.
You think? Why?
I don't know. I guess with I wouldn't say the climate, but guys are...
They're more sensitive now.
It's like they're the girls now. And
yep. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's like they're the girls now and the girls are the guys. So it's like things have shifted.
Things have shifted. And I can attest to it because the last one I was dealing with, Mr. Right Now, I was the dude.
Yeah, I think things shift. So the guys are, you know...
He was a woman.
Doing the most. Calling, stalking.
Stalk me, still stalking.
So, yeah. It's,
Sparrows. Sparrows. I know you're probably saying things, but you know how I am once I take my glasses off. Avoiding comments, but we'll get back around to it. Just want to have the gist of it. So I thought it would be extra special to have Tiffany on to just give her accolades for all that she do for me. And the conversations that she and I have, they're always juicy. And every time I said, Tiffany, we probably should have had a camera going. We probably should have recorded that because that was good. That was good. But these streets are not kind, and it's a reason behind every single thing that has been written in How I Became Fabulous and a Lady all the time, and decisions that I've had to make throughout my life that was for protection of my heart. And it was necessary to do, to even have the love of my life. We've conceived a child together. He said some words that, I can respect what he said. He had a child at the time and didn't want another child. And that's all he said, Valerie, I don't want another child. I said, oh, Gretchen in the book. Gretchen was born.
I think that's weird when you think of y'all having an alter ego.
Yeah.
Your alter.
Yeah.
I never really thought of it in that. I always say, I'm Tiffany, but then who is Danelia? I've never really. I don't think I've come out as far as having an alter. Now.
Yes, you have.
I twitch. My eyes twitch.
I've seen you in raw fashion.
Well.
You just haven't named that person. I named because, and I'll go back and correct. Nicholas's father did not awaken Gretchen. She was awakened before I even met him. She was awakened in college.
Okay.
Okay, so just to clarify that. But Gretchen still exists, and she is masked. She had to be pressed down because she is 199% opposite of Valerie. But she still talks like this. She's very sweet, and she shares, and she just say what has to be said.
I really don't think people want to admit that they have an alter, as far as
Yeah.
Because, it's just people think of, we just say hypothetical. Well, I wouldn't say hypothetical, but we'll use a celebrity. Yeah. Beyonce. That's Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce.
She transforms into somebody else. People look at it in a negative, you got alter egos. Are you crazy?
No, that's Jesus giving you an out. So you don't hurt anybody. You have to be able to express yourself. Some people will take advantage of you if you allow it. You have to be careful of who you are associating with, who you're spending your time with, because that kindness can truly be turned into a weakness. that's what they look and view it as. And it's not something that it should be dismissed in that manner. And I say Gretchen because Gretchen would do everything Valerie would not. She's going to say it. She's going to let you know where she's coming from. And it's all in love.
Right.
And I always tag it with, I love you that much. To tell you the truth.
To tell you the truth.
And to leave you.
Well, that's being authentic, though. Because
yes.
What's the point of, being around people you can't tell them the truth?
Right.
I'd rather tell you the truth and you hate me later and you see the outcome of what I said than not tell you the truth. I don't let you.
It's not going to fester. Yeah.
Right.
So that's where all of that comes from. And I have been quiet with promoting how I became fabulous, because I had other things that were on the rise. I had no intention of ever publishing the book. I figured God put it on my heart for me to write for healing of myself. That's what I believed until I was about done with it. And then you say, you know what, you're going to do all this yourself and you are going to publish it. And I was like, oh, who? No, I'm not. I'm not getting ready to air my laundry. Who needs to know this? How is it going to be beneficial to anybody?
Right. Well, I mean.
But it was.
That's kind of like with my music.
Talk about that.
Like, especially in relationships, and not just like saying, a significant other, family, whatever.
Right.
I go to my music and I create something out of that anger.
Yeah.
Instead of just blowing up or being a stalker or, you may want to say what you want to get your point across, but you don't want to seem too crazy. But once that does, if that doesn't happen like that, then you have to find other outlets. And that art and music, that's my outlet.
Mine
so
too.
Drawing, playing the keyboard, listening to different samples, just doing things like that, that kind of kills, that takes it away.
Get massive.
So that way you don't be angry. You can be angry for a minute. But
then you get over it.
Right.
And then you have something beautiful that became of it.
Right.
So just like you create, you write the music, you play the music. Mm-hmm. And I see her. She have her earphones on. I know, this is what she does. Or she starts cleaning a lot. It's a lot on her mind. Yeah. And so I just kind of let her do what she do. Because, for those who don't know, like I moved back to town. I'm not comfortable, nor am I ready to move out yet because of said stalker. I don't know where he is, might be. Right. So I need to be
on alert.
Yeah. And safe and around my family. That's vital to me right now. So graciousness again to Tiffany. I am at Tiffany's. And it's because it's necessary. It's necessary. You have to take the necessary means to protect yourself, to protect your heart. Have an outlet. Tiffany's communication is her music.
Right.
My communication is writing.
Yeah. And
writing and music.
If you knew how much music and I've been sitting on it because in the beginning it was a fear of failure, or it was pressure because I come from a family of musicians and artists also. Yeah. So it's that pressure to, I don't really like the spotlight, but
sometimes you have to step out on the stage.
Right. And
this is a spotlight for me, this live, because I like to be behind the stage pulling the curtain for other people. However, when God said, you know what, it's time for you to take the stage, you're going to do this. Right. September 5th, last year. I'm coming up on a year. September 5th, he said you're going to do Wisdom Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and this is what you're going to talk about. I was like, no, I'm not. However, come Wednesday, that's what I was doing. Little did I know 3 months later. Was it 3 months? Almost 3. December 3rd, yeah. He said, Matters of the Heart Monday. And what did I do? I came out and told you, you know what the Lord just told me?
Right.
Talking about some Matters of the Heart Monday. Monday coming. That's what I said. It was like a Friday or Saturday. And guess what I'm doing? Matters of the Heart Monday. Guess what he said this morning? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be up at 7 a.m. talking about some inspiration morning. Guess where I'm going to be at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Inspiration.
TVM.
Right.
Not the Valerie Miller, yes, but it's going to be that double fold piece. You hear me talking about you have opportunity to change. However, TVM, this very moment inspirations at 7 a.m.
That's early.
That's early.
Well, like I said, I'll be up anyway, getting prepared for the day.
Yeah, but usually I'm up half the night, working, writing, doing all the stuff. However, Tiffany and I are bad in that space. Yeah. However, we know when.
Right.
We're not the typical. Artists do not have typical schedules.
Nope.
We do what we do when we can do it, when the juice comes. So whenever God gives it, that's when I do it. I don't worry about sleep and stuff like that because I get it when I need it.
Right.
And the thing is, I'm so excited. And I should put, Tiffany will tell you, I've been pumping up the Pointer Sisters the last couple days. I'm so excited. And I am really getting my dance on. I love that song. It just popped in my spirit after I got that. I knew something was coming. I knew something juicy was coming. Little did I know that it's going to be Monday through Friday. This very moment inspirations. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited though. I'm excited because we feed off of each other. Very creative. We enjoy what we do. That's why you can be up all night long when you enjoy what you do. And let me tell you what else. You have freedoms.
Right. I know with me coming on here, there would be a little person somewhere.
It's always little people.
And we have 2 here minus 1.
Yeah.
Because normally it would be 3 or just be 1 or just 2 or all 3. But yeah. I know I ain't going to be able to do no talking or no nothing unless there's a little kid around. Names are Madison
and Eli.
And the minus is Nicholas. Yeah. They are a part of everything that goes on
Maddie.
Here.
So you see what I'm saying? We trying to do things. There's nothing normal. This platform is unscripted. It's a disclaimer. It's unscripted because you never know what's going to happen at any given time. And so that was the auntie look. I had to give the auntie stare. If you haven't seen on the timeline of the video I shot of them this morning, and Madison and Eli were real raw this morning. So I had to capture them on video. And we talked about it. We knew it would be an appearance of them. We knew it was going to be some type of something.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's really okay. You hear the noise in the background?
Little people.
And I love them because they gave me at least 3 bits of information today that I could write about. And talking about inspirations of what inspire. The little ones, they inspire.
Definitely.
They inspire me. My family inspired me. Cardinals and sparrows inspired me. Just nature in general. The little things that God gives inspires me. It's not about the big, the bold, the grand. No, I've always been that one that like the little things and appreciate the little things in life. So what actually inspired you? Because you mentioned that you're coming from a family background. Eli. No.
It's those looks that he gives.
They're priceless, and I wish you could see them.
No way we can turn
priceless.
Them around.
They're priceless. But the thing is, Tiffany's background, on both sides of family, it's music there.
Right.
It's music. However,
2 artistic parents.
Yeah.
And when I say, no, my mom probably wouldn't think I'm artistic. But
very creative.
Very creative. She's a stylist.
Love to bake.
Psychologist.
Psychologist, she is that.
Like I said,
She read me all the time.
A baker. And my father, he's a musician, guitarist with a legendary gospel group.
Go ahead, drop it.
Oh, the legendary Five Singing Stars.
Yeah.
It was Tommy Ellison and the Five Singing Stars, but now it's the legendary Singing Stars.
Yeah.
And also a stepfather who is in the industry too.
Big time.
Cousins. The list goes on.
Yeah. The family
dynamics is there, and that's the music side of it. And art.
Yeah.
Uncles who are artists, professors, teachers of art, cousins. That's all we do. On the Williams side, pretty much everybody can draw.
She's got the gift.
Now I don't know about Taj and Clarkson. They're musicians too, and they are artistic in their ways. Taj, if he was
very
on his
artistic.
fingers. But
yeah.
Knowing what I wanted to do, that was by design, I guess.
It was.
Little kid. And it was actually my art teacher who mentioned something to Barbara about me drawing. And
this is elementary.
Elementary. I wasn't drawing the little stick people. I was drawing actual figures, and they looked like what I was looking at. So I can draw from memory. I draw from looking. So, and then to kind of give me a little bit of skills, I had summertimes I did.
Right.
What was it then?
It was camps.
Yeah, Arts Horizon in Camden at the I can't think of the
museum.
Name.
The center.
I can't think of the name of it, but going there, then kind of got in trouble being a little rebel. But
you have to have a little rebel in you. That's the creative side.
But
acceptance.
I used to draw all kind of stuff, and you had some of the drawings that I used to give you all the time.
I still have the drawings.
And I started off young with a portfolio of cartoon characters.
Yeah. And
kind of did a little detour.
Right.
Trying to be in a safe spot as far as being a doctor or something. But I'm too whiny. I can't tell a parent I lost your child. Or
no.
Your child didn't make it, or something didn't go right. So
there's different ways of caring and doing things in the arts and doing what you were born to do.
Even looking at it, a lot of people think as far as artists, you're not what are you gonna do? You're not gonna make it. Artists don't make that much money, and artists are struggling. They struggle, but it's what they leave behind. You look at
that's the real beauty.
Picasso, Warhol,
right?
People as far as admire in the arts, Da Vinci,
What I would say about that though, if you're in complete alignment with what it is that you do,
you can't run from it.
You can't run from it. It's going to walk you down, either on the front end or the back end. Or you're going to live your life doing something you totally despise, and you're going to end up sick. You're going to not see the real, true beauty in life. You're missing that because you're preoccupied doing something else.
Right.
Life is to be lived and loved and enjoyed. And the only way you do that is doing the things that you do easily, that you don't have to be trained on. Now, you can get additional training, yes. However, it's something natural that you have. It's a natural ability that God gave you. And when he says your gifts make room for you, they do. Yeah, it may take time.
And even with that detour, that was like a second major. That was my second major, art.
Right.
So, and then, learning about black artists, because you don't really hear a whole lot about black artists.
No.
Being at the time I was at a HBCU college.
Right.
So I was like, well, what do I do? So I took 2 years off.
Rediscovery.
Trying to figure out life, and then I came to Charlotte during that time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll try physical therapy. Detoured again.
Yeah.
And excelled. I excelled at everything I did, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Something's missing.
Right.
There's always that feeling of something missing, and you're chasing it, you're looking, and just don't know what it is. But when you ask that $1 million question, God, what is it? If you just show me something's missing, what is it?
Yep.
And then he said, write. I said, write what? Because I wrote in my journal. I've always written in a journal and kept them. Not all of them. Some I can't find because you know how Mama throws stuff away. But
she's on here too, by the way.
I know she is. I saw Dorothy. I did see that.
She gonna have words about that.
But my mama will throw your stuff away if it stays around too long, and she always say she did not. However, my journals was vital with writing how I became fabulous, because it took me back to times that I needed to remember. When I write my feelings, I write them in my journals because I believe in writing. I tell all of my clients, write what you're feeling, because that's a way of release and it's healing, and you're done with it. You don't have to call the person, go all off. You don't have to be stalking Facebook, Instagram. You don't have to do all of that. No peering, please. No secret shadow moves, please. But at the same time, just write what you're feeling to release it off of your heart. That's what's important, to get that off of your heart. So when God said to write, I was like, well, okay. And so I did. And the story just goes back to me being interior design, creative.
Right.
And being interior designer, I so happened to be working from home that particular day and doing some research for a client, Googling, researching things, looking for fabrics and swatches, right? Just doing what I do to put this room together for a client. However, in my search on Google, how about Toni Morrison popped up? A quote of Toni Morrison. I love her. And it was the one quote that she said, if you can't find what you're looking for, create it.
Right.
And I took that to heart. And it was right after I had that conversation with God. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why is Toni Morrison popping up in the middle of interior design search? God do what he wants.
Right.
So that's what it was. He popped that there, okay? Because I had said, if you want me to write a book, you will tell me what to write about. Right? The very same day, I'm listening to Pandora. Layla Hathaway pops on. To me, it was a new track. It was one that I had not heard. And it was from her self-portrait album, Then and Now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It was Then and Now. And guess what? I wrote about it in here. I wrote about both of them in here. Because that story it was life-changing for me. The conversation with God, to get the pop-up from Toni Morrison, and then the music. Get it? Literature, Toni Morrison. Music, Layla Hathaway. In the midst of creativeness, designing. God designed lives. That's why I use the analogy of interior design. God designed lives, and literature heals as well as music heals. So that's where this whole platform comes from. God walks me through it all. But at the same time, Layla Hathaway's song Then and Now broke me down like a shotgun. Because of the lyrics being so powerful, I felt like God put that song on to touch my heart at that time, to understand why it was necessary to write. And the thing that I was looking for, that I'm praying about, what that thing missing, was the unveiling and discovery of myself. I had to rediscover me, because it's been so many hurts and so many disappointments, so many things has happened in relationships, LOVE, that goes back to the Mighty Seven over time. At the time, all of the rest were past, and in the midst of Mr. Right Now. And I know you're looking. I know he's looking.
Hey.
I know he's looking. But at the same time, it was an awakening for me. So the juiciness of that book was a lot of healing. And that's why God made it to the point to where I could not sit on it. I had to publish that book from the beginning to the end. And the only help I got with the book was Tiffany doing the cover. That's it. I had to self-publish. He said, what? You don't need a publishing house. What do you need that for? Because publishers, they tend to pick and choose who they want to publish. Right. Well, I'm dealing with the ultimate publisher, the publisher. So when he said self-published, I did, and grateful for it. And now it's not hard for me to be vulnerable, to talk about the woes of my life.
I think some people, that's one thing that they get hung up on, that they don't know how to share. And what they do share, they shouldn't share.
They feel they shouldn't.
Right.
Because they fear judgment.
Right. Or rejection.
And guess what? Remember that first t-shirt I said we were going to do?
Right.
I don't care. That's the first TV. Well, maybe not the first one. But it will be a t-shirt. I don't care. And for the simple fact, you can't care about what other people think. It's about your healing. It's about you growing. It's about you being obedient. Having a relationship with God and understanding the purpose in that. And how powerful He is. And you're not living until you have that. So that's just a tip of the iceberg on that. But music, my journals, as many as I could find, because I tend to write things. If you could see the whirlwind, I write everywhere. I have an idea. I have a memory. My phone, my iPad, everything's full to capacity. Right. I have 1,000,001 stacks of sticky notes, notebooks, countless.
Right.
Full.
And it's so bad that I do the same as far as like writing.
Music.
Music, my thoughts, my dreams, my feelings at that time, because in the midst of making music, composing something,
yes,
I'm writing.
You have to write.
So I know, okay, well, this is what I did with this track, or it's in my phone, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
But I have notebooks in every room of this house. I have a trunk in storage. I have a trunk in another storage just full of notebooks, book bags, closets, everywhere. But I always like to go back and reference them. You know how people are like, why you still got those papers? I need to go back and look at something. Or
it's a time for it to be revealed. Right. Even though you write it today. Mine went back to high school.
I don't think I'll go back that far.
Mine went back to high school.
I think I'll go back to college. My first years in college.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll go back to high school. Because at that time, I really wasn't. It was just, I was just being a teenager.
But that's going to play a role at some point in your life. I'm telling you that right now. You will go back to those times because what you did then comes back to now.
Well, right.
It does. Whether if you keep it or not, it's going to be a part of your recollection. And I'm pretty sure each and every sparrow in the room can attest to this. It's music that can play. Takes you back to a date, a time. That's my song.
Like Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige last night on BET.
Yep.
I went back to the 90s. And when Lil Kim
popped out,
I lost it.
If anybody don't know, we're talking about the BET Awards.
The BET Awards.
And I really wasn't going to look at it, but
we needed to see MJB.
Yeah.
Because I love Mary J. Blige. I love Lil Kim and I met Lil Kim, hung out with Lil Kim one night right here in the Queen City. I tell you, y'all don't know everything about me. I always hung out with VIP, never looked for VIP, never wanted to be in the midst of VIP. However, my life has allowed me to live VIP. And meeting these people, or riding around with Lil Kim and Lil C's, and I said, you know what? Biggie's Juicy was big at that time, right? Mm-hmm. And I love Juicy. And so I said to Lil Kim, because Lil Kim and Biggie had that thing. And so I said, hey, I really want to talk to Biggie Smalls. Call Biggie Smalls. He and Puffy was in LA at the time. They couldn't come to Charlotte. It was some event that was going on here in Charlotte. But Puffy and Biggie Smalls was in LA. And Lil Kim and Lil C's was here. A friend of mine had a club downtown Charlotte. One of the Panthers. He owned a club. I won't drop names. But at the same time, he had a club. And I was there, and it was private that night. And then afterwards, I hung out with Lil Kim. We rolling through Queen City. But the thing is, I said, girl, why do you dress like that? Why must you cover up? What is that? And what I learned about Lil Kim was that she is over the top fabulous. She is not what you see. She said, you know what, Valerie, this is just my job. I do what I do on my job. It's not me. And so just having that conversation with her, and it was eye-opening. And I can say that about a lot of people. So it's not just something to look down on or whatnot, but music takes you back to a time and a place. You have a remembrance, and it's easy for me to write. That's how I write. I put the music on, and Tiff will tell you, first thing in the morning, I've had my quality time with God, and I've had my gratitude to wake up. First thing on is music. I don't watch TV. You can't create and be in your genius space watching TV. TV sits you in one place.
Right.
Music allows you to move around, flowing like water and light.
I think I do TV just to...
You digress from it.
Yeah, I have to come down. I have to come down off, because your mind is all over the place. And
it is.
You get caught up, especially me, playing.
Right.
Once I sit down there, I can be there all... You go to bed and you wake up, I'm still sitting there.
Right.
So I have to kind of step away from it to come back to it, if that makes sense.
She'll be up all night watching TV and stuff.
Right. But good thing too, as far as like my job, it allows me to work from home.
Bonus.
So, it's just
Bonus.
I'm doing a lot of things, and to kind of escape from that, I'll go to music. Leave music, go back to that.
That's
and
it.
do other things. So, it's just...
We don't have a typical life.
No. Or creative... everybody's creative in their own right.
Right.
But most creative minds, they just all
Free
over the place.
spirits.
Yeah.
Sparrow.
So.
It's beautiful. Maria Weathers, you probably should do some of these comments. Maria Weathers said music will feed your soul in so many ways. Veronica Morris, absolutely, write it down, make it plain. You have to write things down, making it plain.
Right.
And understanding what your purpose is and why God has given you what it is that he's feeding you at the time. And I say feed because there are times I might eat one time a day because I don't come outside of these doors because I'm in creative mode. I'm thinking, I'm getting it down. And I know it's a time and a place for it all. And writing, and in that place, and putting together Sparrow Unleashed, putting that together as well as it was for How I Became Fabulous, I always say, somebody said, well, I can't wait to read your book, Val. I'll say, I can't wait to read it either. And I always get them stepping back, like, what do you mean? You can't wait to read it. You're writing it. Because you're writing it doesn't mean that you know what it's going to read like from the beginning to the end.
Right.
I write in pieces. My writing style is pieces. I take things I've written many years ago, and whatever that music brings out of me, I put that in. And when I tell you God orchestrates my book, he orchestrates my book. He said, okay, now you take that from over here. And when I write things down, it's book 2. This is for book 4. He's giving me all the way up to book 5. And I put what it is. So when I take the pieces of these puzzles, once I've put it on, now keep in mind I still have 40 chapters from book 1 that I didn't use. Sometime in place, those chapters are going to fit in somewhere.
Right.
I just don't know where they're going to fit.
And they could be put in each book that you're getting ready to come out. Just break them down and put them in the books.
Yeah. But he'll lead me to it.
In fitting of what you're writing about.
Exactly. But I know writing saves me. It keeps me sane. It keeps me in a good place. Right. It keeps my mind strong. I love it. And little did I know, always wanting to be in journalism. Always having the thought of working in radio. And now that's pretty much what this is.
Right.
Taking courses in stuff communications.
And I can say that too as far as like with music, even though I didn't get started with that until later on in life.
Right.
Because I was it was within that time where I was doing trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Early 20s, home.
Yeah.
Mom mad.
Oh, she was hot. She was hot.
Because I, dropped out of college my last year. I was a senior, ready to graduate, honors and everything. And
she was on fire.
I said, I don't want to do it. So, in the midst of that, of course, internet, which was very slow, DSL.
It makes a difference.
I said, well, I can't remember what I was looking at, but I think it was Missy.
Missy was hot back then.
Missy, of course, Timbaland, and now these are where I would say influences as far as music go, producers.
Yeah.
Timbaland, but it was one person that kind of like stuck out that made me like really jump into it, and that was Ryan Leslie.
Okay.
And I don't know if too many people are familiar with Ryan Leslie. Little people. Oh God.
Good though.
Right. But Ryan Leslie, he was a producer on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's when the beginnings of YouTube.
Right.
And stuff like that. So I was watching videos. And I asked Barbara, I said, well, I want to go to the music store and buy this software. And of course, like I said, she was hot with me quitting school. So I was like, this is, let's see what happens. So she gave me a blank check and she was like, well, is this what you really want to do? And I said, yeah. So she was like, don't go over a certain amount. So I went to the music store, bought this software, got me a MIDI controller, and sat at a computer and taught myself music theory, taught myself how to play, because not saying I couldn't play, but I didn't take any lessons.
Right.
And of course, my dad, he plays the guitar, so
right.
It wasn't like, saying musically inclined, I can play by ear.
Right.
So it was one of those things like, I didn't have to have formal training, but I guess it just kind of came natural. But I taught myself, things that I know I needed to know, which was music theory, chord progressions, notes, and that, I was writing on the keyboard, C, A, B, because, I didn't know. And that kind of took off from there.
That's what it's about. Once you learn,
and that was in 2011. And then that's when I decided to go back to school for art.
Right.
So it all kind of started at the same time.
Right.
It took off like, once I got that, learned that, figured that out.
Right.
Was waiting to hear back about, my second phase for physical therapy. And got a call back from the Art Institute of Charlotte. And I was accepted.
Right.
Majored in graphic design and went from there. So everything kind of took off and it aligned in that 2011.
Isn't that something? And look at it now, 2019. And when I tell you she's a beast when it comes to music. And I
have been sitting on it. And today is actually kind of like my release day, as far as like putting my music like really out there, letting others hear it.
Right.
Hey, Adon.
Make a decision, Eli. Make a decision.
Is that what you come in here to do?
Okay.
He had to offer some words of wisdom.
You will speak, Tosh. And the thing is, I have been pushing Tiffany for years. Tons of families been pushing Tiffany for years. But I know it's scary to leap.
Right.
And you do that whole double dutch. You're like, should I not? Could you get them? Because I'm really trying not to yell from Madison. And the thing is, it's tough when it's time to take that leap. It's scary. You don't know what people are going to receive you by. They don't know if they're going to like my music, if they're going to like my writing. You don't know how receptive it's going to be. The only suggestion I can say at this point is when you know that it's something that God has given you. Like for Tiffany, she's learning to write this music and create from her mind. She is doing this thing because I look at her music and when she's creating, and I'm blown away because I don't know what any of this stuff is. It's just foreign. It's Greek to me. But I know the weight of that and how hard it is to make that decision to leave. Because when God told me to leave my job, I was like, what? Who's getting ready to leave a job? Who's getting ready to do that? But if I had been disobedient, then I wouldn't be where I am now. And when I tell you that the carpet isn't rolled out red, it costs to be fabulous. I promise you. It costs. It costs a lot. It costs rebranding yourself. You've got to grow. You have got to take the risk that other people will not take. And I've had, I have like 3 besties. And then the one here, bestie boo. No bestie. And then I got best friend. So the one local, bestie, she said, it's no way under the sun I would be able to do what you have done. Even though you see the grace in it, then we all have the choice to be obedient and not. We have the option of free will. Anytime God tells me to do something, I have yet to be disobedient. I've done it at all costs. I can lose everything I have if that's what he tells me to do. And when he told me to sell all I have, everything was gorgeous and paid for, and move back to Charlotte, what do you want me to do that for?
I'm looking at your face like, what just happened?
What? I just had a flashback of my conversation with God. Like, what? You have me, okay, quit my job. Now everything's going well. Then the bottom falls out. Then you start rebuilding. Then you say, sell all my stuff and move back to Charlotte. Isn't that a regression? I'm in Atlanta, where everything is. But what I'll say this is, to date, coming back home has been the best thing in the world for me. Because what I'm doing now, granted, I had to be moved from Charlotte in 2010 to go to Atlanta. And I was reluctant then. Gave him pushback on that. I have a house. I have responsibilities. And guess what else? My job had ended.
Yeah, because that's when I moved here. Because I was living with you then.
Right. And look at the role reversal. Tiffany comes to town, live with me. I end up leaving. Gone for 8 years. Because I had to leave family, friends. I had to leave everything and everybody that I knew. And he took me to Georgia. I end up in Alpharetta, Georgia. Alpha and the Omega. And just even the zip code gives me life of what it was, the zip code that I have. It reminded me of Charlotte, but at the same time, it wasn't Charlotte. And I couldn't come home the way I like to come home. And that was because he had to take me away so I could be fed and not food. I had to grow. I had to learn. I had to become who I am. And then coming back here, being home now, I understand it. At first I didn't. Like, you want to give up everything, because I had to be broken down to ground zero. So by me being broken down to ground zero, isolation island, I had to have the relationship rebuild. Even though I have a fabulous relationship with God, I had to have one-on-one class. That's what I had to do. And now to be prideful and to say pride, I'm using that word. I'm not a prideful person at all. However, we in our mind reach certain levels of success and we're excited about it. We love it. And it makes it difficult to let go of those material things. It makes it tough to do that. And when I realized that I did have attachments, because at first I don't have attachments. I don't do that. I don't need that. That's not who I am. But at the same time, I had to realize he had to show me, oh my gosh, I have attachments. So that's where it came from, with him saying, get rid of everything, sell it, and you move back home. So now being back home is the greatest decision, to be obedient and to come back home and do and be as I become. because coming from ground zero, the only way you can do is go back up. I wouldn't have been able to do any of the things that I'm doing right now. Tiffany is my right hand, and everything that she does really helps me soar to do all this. When I tell you, I don't know where this is going. I have no idea. But then to have to wake up at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, well, before then, to be live with you again, Monday through Friday, on top of writing gratitude time posts every day, on top of Mondays, Matters of the Heart, Wednesdays, Wisdom Wednesdays. It's so much that's coming at me I wouldn't be able to do if I had not come back home, and to have the help and the support of family and friends, like my mom and daddy, my sissies. Trust me, my nieces and nephews. Family keeps you going. It's important to have family and close friends that truly want to see you successful. They truly want to see you grow. They are supportive. They inspire. They encourage. They're the village. So that is what I'm talking about when it comes to love and loving so hard and seeing the greatest in other people, being the lifestyle strategist. And living a conscious lifestyle isn't easy. Even taking it back to the year of challenges last year. God put me on the walk of a 365-day challenge last year. And I couldn't have been greater with that. It's amazing. And the person I'm becoming, I love that girl. She couldn't have come to life if I was disobedient. And I'm grateful to my mom and dad for instilling the relationship in God and how important that is, and to follow Jesus and all of that and live that life. Because if they had not taught us that, I wouldn't be sitting here now. I would be caught up in life. I would be caught up in the world. And that was my daddy's main thing to say. You're not going to be a part of the world. You're going to be yourself and who you're supposed to be. So now all those conversations, those Bible studies and stuff, every Sunday at 2 o'clock. So that's why 2 o'clock is so vital to me, because of the teachings and the teachers that have been in my life, my grandparents, aunties and uncles, cousins. Village is so vital in life, especially when you're in a place of when you're in rediscovery, you're redefining yourself. And I won't even say personal development. I don't. It's soul development. It's all about the soul. Because until your soul is developed, teaching you to become yourself, the person you were born to be, it's impossible for you to soar authentically, to become the individual. So you, at the end of life, you can say, you know what? I am Valerie Melly. It's a pleasure to meet you, Val. That's what I'm looking forward to. The introduction of myself. It's a quest. And teaching and listening and having people in your life that support you and love you like that. So it's amazing. It really is, to have your soul developed. And just because of the challenges last year, 365, Trinity 365, I had to change the name. God, you keep making me change stuff. But at the same time, Trinity 365 is just that, is soul development. And that's from every point of life, from your health, from your career, from your relationships, from your spiritual walk. All of those things take place to help and make sure that you're in alignment with yourself and you're really on quest to live the ultimate best life. So if you ever scroll through my timeline, where I'm at that day, that's what you're getting. With what's coming up, that's what you're getting. Sneak peeks of things that's coming, that's behind the scene with me. I'm revealing to you. You just have to look closely to see it. But I'm putting it in plain view. My life isn't a secret. It's not. I will tell everything because I have nothing to hide. That's how I can sit here and be who I am and help you all at the same time. That's my tag. I introduce you to yourself. So having soul development is being in a place to your ultimate self, that thing that you know you were born to be, and then having communication with your spirit. Your spirit can't soar unless you are in touch with your soul. So, Tiffany, I can go.
Right. I don't know what you...
She left the room. And anytime you leave me by myself, because usually I'm on, there are times I come on and it's like that. But you need to introduce yourself. Become who you are. Utilize what your soul speaks about, what your heart is yearning for, the thing that you do that comes easily. That's God communicating to you through your spirit to awaken your soul to be that. Not following somebody else, but being the best of yourself that you can be. Being that sparrow. And a lot of people ask about sparrow. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little tidbit on it. And I know I've shared some things in the past. However, the whole sparrow analogy is because of value. A lot of people don't value themselves because of the judgments of what other people think about you. So value needs to be of the importance of who you are and what your responsibility is and what you were born to do in this life. The only care you need to have is what God cares. That's it. Because He takes care of you. Everything you need, He has. Everything you want to be, He is. The I am. So look at it from that standpoint. And Sparrows is basically saying, you know what, your value is very high. It doesn't matter what somebody else think about you. It's about how you believe and care about yourself.
Right.
And how you're living in alignment to what God has put inside of you for you to awaken. Unleash yourself, Sparrow, and just burst. Live, be. Honor yourself. Stop disrespecting yourself and God, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're smacking Him in the face when you're not doing what you were born to do. You want to add anything, Tiff?
I'm thinking.
As her wheels are turning, you know me, I'm going to fill the space because that's what I do. I talk because I get excited about being who I am. And
I can't sit here and say I don't, because I'm a talker too when it comes, especially if it's something that that's bothering. Well, I wouldn't say bothering me, but I feel strongly about. You have to get your point across.
Your passions.
Right. So when you're having communication with people, I can find myself going on and on like that too.
Yeah.
I just, I know you've been doing this for a while, live for a while. And I didn't
want to.
I used to pop on every now and then, so it wasn't a thing as far as like I don't know what's going on, but
We got a dim light. All I know is love what you do. Be who you are. If you don't understand who you are, find out who you are.
Right.
That's where I come in. Call me. I don't know. We're getting darker by the second on the live. However, it's to the point to where it's probably going to need to be a part 2 with Tiffany. But the thing is...
Minus little people.
But at the same time, I'm going to have Tiffany introduce her music to you. Do you need an outlet?
Yeah, I need an outlet real quick.
Right here.
Because I'm pretty sure sound just cut out.
Yeah, and we don't need... It's unscripted, Sparrows. It's unscripted. That's all I can say. We've just been plugged in, so I think it's going to be all right. Because I don't want this to end and then you not have the formal introduction of Tiffany's music. For all of you vocalists, all of you producers, all of you people in music world, you may want to reach out to Tiffany because she has some absolutely fabulous sounds. And she's humble.
I would say, I wouldn't say a crazy thing, but with my music, to hear it, you wouldn't think most of that came from hurt, pain,
right.
Down places, because it's music. It's supposed to, of course, music uplifts and everything, but it came from a place where, at that time or whatever journey I was on, pain, hurt, lies, not knowing if I was coming or going.
She became fabulous and didn't know it.
I sat down and played the keys.
Yeah.
And I even did one too where I actually got on and, but I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not even gonna say that. He said it would be a part 2. Everybody has to be a part 2 because it was too many, which is okay. Too many interferences. You know, little people, they need attention.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I forewarned early this morning.
But I knew that I don't think I can ever do anything without having a little person by my side. So.
No, they bring us life. It's entertainment.
Even making music, they'll come through and I'm doing something, they'll push a button and I'll leave it right in there.
Yeah. You're going to hear little voices in the music that Tiffany is going to play. And it's these kids.
Right. Mine is
doing too much.
And the one that
right.
Eli just started talking, so I haven't recorded his vocals yet.
It's coming.
He just started talking real good, so I got to get him on the microphone. But Nicholas and Madison, yeah.
You gotta hear them.
Though I have those two, and they just do my voice tags to my music. And I don't even know if I'm gonna keep it like that because
it's priceless moments though.
Well, it is, but then you got to think of competition out here, other producers.
Yeah.
And it kind of sounds like one of theirs, so I don't want it to be where they feel like I'm biting.
Be authentic. It's not a bite because
everything right, but
it's not like you bought that.
Right.
It so happened to happen in the midst of recording. Right. So that's the difference, and it's a part of conversation when somebody asks you, where did you get that? Oh, that was my niece. Oh, that was my godson.
Right.
Those types of things. So authentic is authentic. Embrace it when it comes. And that's why I like to say anything TVM is unscripted.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't go as planned because I know most people in life you have to plan some things, but everything I'm not for planning because anything could happen and anything could pop off, and you just have to.
Nothing's perfect.
You have to go with it. You have to. There's no. Life didn't come with a manual, so you just have to.
Well, it is a manual.
Well, manual is from
the Bible, but I'm just saying. But take it as it comes.
Right. You can't. You don't know because even having the Bible, you
can't plan this.
No.
You can't plan Eli coming in here with a gun. You can't plan that he slept all day.
Right.
And then want to wake up around the time that we need to air and then expect a full-on meal. So, and Madison is like, well, can I get something? I said, well, can you guys hold tight? Because TT and I have to go on.
Yeah.
Then Madison said, as we sit here with 2 chairs, she said, where am I sitting? Because she thought she was a part of this live.
Well, they play a part. They are little inspirations.
Yeah, they are.
You know, even through bad times, even doing music, you know, you have little faces that kind of bring you out of it.
They heal hearts.
Right.
They are. They're innocent. They know when you're hurting. They know when you need a hug.
Right.
And I talked about Madison and how I became fabulous about at Nicholas's release party and how she just leapt off the wall. You know, and jumped on my arms because it was that moment in time when I had to speak to everybody and thank everybody for coming out before the actual balloon release. I got so full, I didn't think I was going to make it. But in that mist, before I did that ugly cry, Madison just leapt off the wall because I stood her there until I finished speaking. But she knew to fly. Baby Sparrow leapt on me. I turned and caught her in time. And what did that do? Stop the tears instantly.
Yeah, because it caught you off guard.
It caught me off guard. And I know that she could feel that. And to me, it was Nicholas that, Mama, don't you dare. But at the same time, children serve purpose. I may not have any on this side of life, however, mine are in heaven. I'm grateful for each and every one of my nieces and my great nieces, nephews, great nephews, great nieces. I have a lot of them, along with friends' kids. I have so many kids surrounding me. I'm grateful to God every single day.
Right.
For children.
I don't have any kids. I haven't had a kid yet. I mean, I feel like I still got time.
You do have time.
I know Mama like, as it happens, she must not be on because she ain't chiming in on that.
She ain't yet.
But Nicholas, you can't tell me that, from a baby, I cut his umbilical cord.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that he ain't my son. And Madison and Eli.
Yeah.
Woo.
It's amazing.
That was a blessing from Taj.
Your siblings give you children.
Right.
So I'm grateful to my sisters and my brother.
And Carson is my other big baby.
He is a big baby. Everybody's baby.
He ain't gonna like that if
he's not gonna like it because we have it on video. But at the same time, it's a beautiful thing. He's full rotten by all of us. And that has been good and then not good.
But I know as far as like when it comes to my music and my art, it always stems from an experience I have. Or experience I had.
Right.
And I wouldn't say all of them were bad, but majority of them was. Relationships.
I'm going to say something. Relationships are what they are. They're to teach us.
Yeah.
Or we are to teach someone something. Everybody is on the quest for love in life. That's talking from chapter 21 with the Mighty Seven. And I talked about the quest that we're all on. It's not a person on this planet or any part of the world that isn't looking for love, that may have found love and lost love, married, divorced, been there, done that. Grateful for those times. However, you know what is and what isn't. And just have enough love for yourself to get out of it if it's not, because you're blocking your blessing from something that's amazing. Love is beautiful. I cannot wait to be married again. It's a beautiful thing when you're in it with the right person. And sometimes we make decisions in life and we settle on individuals that just aren't right for us, Mr. Right Now. And all of the other things that we do and settle because of whatever your fears are. And when I talk more about being fearless, I am fearless. And I wear that badge with honor because I will not settle for something less than what God has given me to preview in my heart of what I am to have. And knowing that, I'm willing to chill out on Isolation Island.
Right.
There's too many things I can work on. Writing those 5 books that I know of right now. Building this platform. Meeting people in the community. Helping as much as I can. Being a voice for those who fear speaking. Those are things that I have decided to make my life. This is my life. This is who I am. This is who I was born to do and be. And I love every moment of it. And if I had not answered my call and listened to what God was telling me, I wouldn't be here right now. So with that being said, Tiffany, what's your next thing before we get to your music? What's on the horizon for Tiffany since you're now unleashing here tonight with your music on TVM exclusive?
Of course, Williams Design, which is my graphic design company.
Right.
83 South Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted a clothing line. I don't know. I love fashion.
We all love fashion.
Admire.
Yeah.
Ralph Lauren.
That's my guy too.
So I have
Black market.
Right. A clothing line is in the works, and of course, music production.
Yeah.
And I said it last night. I'm gonna say it on here so I can put it out there.
Put it in the universe.
In the space. I'm gonna be on BET next year.
I don't doubt that.
I believe it as far as law of attraction, putting things out in there, speaking, because you create your life. You have to put things in the atmosphere for them to take place, take shape. Get away from that door. Sorry.
I'm praying. But it's so much to Tiffany, and I support her 100%.
And I don't know what else. But I just
take it as it comes.
I just know it's gonna be a lot of changes. I do know that. Most people say, how you know that? Like how you gonna say that? How can you? been a pretty good judge of what unfolds in my life.
And nobody can question you
Right.
of what you know is going to be. They haven't seen your preview.
Right, because, you know,
So don't even feel like you need to explain.
things I want, things I've always wanted, I've pretty much had them. And it's not saying, like, you know, to be,
It's not
you
facetious.
get whatever you, no, it's just, you know,
it's your gifts coming to fruition.
Right.
It's your preview coming to life. And you don't have to be passive on that.
Right.
Be confident in it. Anybody who questions anything or push back with me, I say I can show you better than I can tell you.
Right. I always pull out my little vision boards, because everything I had on my vision board, I pretty much attained. Besides my Mac computer, but I realized I didn't need that. I just needed something that worked for me.
You have not because you asked not.
Well, I mean, I got Mac products.
You have not because you asked not.
But other than that, car down to the car. There's one thing on there now that I'm waiting on, which is my truck. But
that's material. When you
that is material.
When you move from your heart,
but from
those
my
other
dreams,
things come.
I would say what I was gifted with. Yeah, I want to share that with the world.
And when you share it with the world, what would you get from that? The truck.
Right.
All that stuff that we can't take with us.
Well, I really wouldn't care about the truck. I think it would be the satisfaction knowing that, you know, I'm spreading my love the way I know how to, which is through music and through my art. And
that's it.
When I say art is so many different things.
Right.
Art can be, you know, a painter.
Right.
Designer, interior design.
Yeah.
Acting.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you give, how you are, your character.
It boomerangs.
Right.
It comes back. And that's what joy truly feels like. When you can give of yourself from your heart and then see how it makes somebody else smile.
Right.
How it heals somebody else's brokenness, their bruises, their pains, and it helps them reconstruct themselves to be a part of the living again. And that's what's most important. And those are the things that stays in your heart. So when you have that conversation with God, when he say, well done, those are the things that he is going to be recognizing you on, not things of material that we're going to leave behind, because we can't take those things. So that is what I had to understand when he said to me, sell it all.
Right. But you look at it as far as, like, you know,
I'm over it.
With my passion,
even my car,
my love.
Get over it.
Yeah. I mean,
wisdom's gone.
It doesn't. You can't take it with you, right?
You can't take it.
But you can. You leave legacies behind. You leave your philanthropy. You leave those things behind when you leave people talking about. Okay, you know. Yeah. This person, like we talk about Martin Luther King. We talk about.
That's what's important.
Malcolm X. And as far as
your mark.
Artists, Michael Jackson. You know.
Right.
You gotta.
And Tiffany Williams.
Right.
Valerie Miller. Music stays forever.
Right.
Literature stays forever. It's people years and years down the road will be reading books I've written. Children I may not have alive here on earth, although in heaven. To me, having absentee children, my quest is to be available to children who have absentee parents and give all of those kids, as well as my nieces and nephews, everything I can pour from myself and feed them. It's not to be sad, whoa, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I know losing my kids, it was an experience for me to have to accept in my life. However, at the same time, God has given me so many kids to surround, because we don't own any of them. We have responsibilities of them while they're here. But at the same time, I am grateful for knowing that life lived within me. And I know that they look down on me all the time. Those are things that are priceless. And in the event those experiences never happened, me losing my kids, I wouldn't be who I am right now, sitting in this seat, speaking to you. So would I change that aspect of who I am becoming because it took sacrifice. And the sacrifice was God give it and he can take it. However, he never make mistakes. And I know that because of my relationship with him. It's too many things he's shown me along the way of how and why things happen. Not to be detriment to us, but to grow us, to align us with what our purpose is in life. And to teach. Right. I love teaching.
As Maya Angelou said, when you learn, you teach.
You learn and you teach.
Whatever you learn, it is your responsibility. Your responsibility to share that with others. Yeah. So that they can become better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's juicy. That is juicy. So guys, what we're going to do, I'm going to turn it over to Tiffany so she can go ahead and blow you guys away with her music. And then after that, you have 2 tracks?
Actually, that 2 multiplied.
2, 4?
I don't know. I think it's like 4 or 5. But they're snippets.
Tiffany have 4 or 5 snippets over 2 minutes?
I think one may be over 2 minutes.
Okay,
not two, because I don't want nobody.
No, don't give too much.
Right, yeah. So that's
just so you guys know, whoever's watching and have any clever ideas of thinking of biting, don't. Copyright, don't. Trademark, don't. Cease and desist now. So just enjoy, listen.
I would think people are pretty honest on here. I will hope so.
I have beautiful sparrows.
Right.
And you have beautiful sparrows. I love each and every one with all of my heart. I'm grateful for each one. So Tiffany is bringing up her music. And while she is doing that, I'm going to take a peep because I take my glasses off. Hi, Patricia. Hello, Reggie. Hey, brother. Call me. Call me Reginald I.
Hey, everyone. I don't know everybody on here like that.
I know.
I know some people. I did a little. I shared.
You know Reggie. You know Demetrius, your cousin.
Hey. Me and Demetrius got to get
You're working and watching at the same time, cuz?
Look, Demetrius, I ain't forgot about you. I'm going to tell you, life is...
bootleg and pirate, Reggie. Demetrius, we still need to talk, dear. I know you have some fabulous things on the rise as well, so
definitely got to get together.
We need to chat and catch up. I know we were supposed to do so, but you're the busy one right now. We're both like really
I think everybody's kind of like out there.
We're all creating right now.
Right.
So whenever you can come up for air, cuz definitely reach out, do that. But it's a lot of creative minds in the family. When we can all get together and create, watch out world, because here we come. Sparrows on fire. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Tiffany is about to key up her snips and go ahead, enjoy. 6 of them. So we're going to go ahead and push this thing out.
Well, like I said, they're snippets. So let's see.
Okay, it sounds good.
All right.
Here we go, Sparrows.
to say the names because I'm still working on the names, but at the time, how I'm feeling, that's what I just put out there.
They're coming. The names will come. That will be appropriate.
Coming. All right. Next one.
Patricia, you have a poem for that snippet? Call me tomorrow, Patricia.
Okay, what's the next one?
Yeah.
And just to think, most of that comes out of frustration.
Yeah.
I am thoroughly pissed when I'm making most of it. But when you hear it, you know, it's not that.
It's the opposite.
Right. And I'm going to do one more just for Maddie.
Yeah, we have to pay some homage to Madison.
Put her in there.
It's been Nicholas all on the others. TT made it! That is Nicholas. Yes. But you know what? I'm going to quote Robert Townsend and what he said in 5 Heartbeats, how he wrote in that script. He said that when he was writing and his teacher said to him, like, you write beautiful music. However, when you've lived a little, when you've been hurt, when you've had some pains in your life, then you create phenomenal music.
Right.
And that is true across the board. When it comes to music, when it comes to writing memoirs, all of those nips of nuggets. I almost said Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. However, it's all true. It's the truest thing, and it always stands out to me every time he say it in that movie. It's a lot of truth to it. So I know you say frustrations and you're pissed off and all of those things, but those things bring currency.
Pain,
Write it down, add lyrics to it. Make sure you connect with the right people to lay down those lyrics that can soar your music so they can understand what you went through to create it.
Right.
So it's taking it to that next step. What's next?
This is the last one.
This is the final, Sparrows. Sparrows. Tiffany and I are in the midst of creating my intro and my exit music, right? She has way too much of a library for me to select one because I like all. This one kind of speaks to me. I've never heard it before right now. So as I listened to it, I said, this could be my intro exit. So thumbs up. Put a 3 in comments if you think it should be my intro exit for TBM, Matters of the Heart Monday, as well as Wisdom Wednesday. Because a lot of changes and shifts are coming. And the music's going to have to speak and say who I am. And I really feel like this is the sound. I love it a lot. And I know we've kind of gone probably an hour and a half plus tonight. And it's okay, I can do that. I can do that. Because I felt it was necessary. It was an exclusive show. And it's me showing Tiffany how much I love her in just a little bit of airtime. She's fabulous. She's all that. She's my baby cake. And I would not be able to do all I'm doing without her. So on that note, we're going to spell on tonight. And what I'm going to say to you all is many thanks. I know it wasn't a lot of engagement in the room, although there was some. Of course, as always, Tiffany and I would go on after the broadcast and respond. to your comments. And I just cannot ever say thank you enough. Much gratitude. You are part of my life. You're part of my family. You're part of my heart, my soul, my spirit. And you are really soaring me to do the things that I need to do for community. So on that note, Tiffany, is there anything you'd like to add? And be sure to tell them how you can be contacted.
All that is coming soon. I've been lazy about that.
I've been getting on her.
Yeah. I'm creating things right now. But as far as my tracks, they will be on BeatStar. And that's an app, so I don't, unless it's something that I post, in which I'm about to start doing that. It's going to be Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Those are going to be my 3 handles that I'm going to be on.
Right.
And of course, Zone Music. I just created that page on Facebook, so I'm gonna launch that soon. But that's how you can get in contact with me, or if you want to email me, williamsdesignwd@gmail.com.
And she'll put all of this information in comments as well, because I know it's a lot of music, individuals in the room, and we'll be catching the replay, and her music's hot like that. I'm not saying that because she's my niece, but no, she's sincerely gifted. And to learn all of this, by the grace of God, and never taking class for music, and as far as the design, it's the same. My goodness, she created my book cover, and she will continue to create all of my book covers. You wait until you see what Sparrow Unleashed looks like.
And I'll definitely be putting more art and stuff out there as far as things, because I've created things here in Charlotte, Platt Construction. I can't think of the other place. Queen City Restoration. Royce Apparel. They had me on a gag order, but I can talk now because my contract is about to be up. But I couldn't do a whole lot of talking with it being collegiate apparel, as far as college teams, and I was doing the top 25 colleges. So UNC, Florida, Syracuse, USC, Gamecocks, Tar Heels, all that. I couldn't say too much, and I couldn't post a lot of my designs because I was up under a contract. And I couldn't talk because of competitors. And with the, we were competing.
That's understood.
Yeah, we were competing with Nike and Kentucky Brand and Under Armour and stuff like that. But, that's the only reason why I watch sports now, to see who got on one of my shirts or something.
Isn't that it's rewarding, though, to see, oh my gosh, I created that.
Well, that was it was a couple years back, but walking in the hospital seeing, some work that I've done, and, billboards and stuff like that. Yeah. Even the ABC store, I did things there. If you go in the ABC stores, and I know it's kind of like liquor. Yeah, ABC store.
That's a hot spot.
I did some work that's, when you go in there to be on, because they got TVs in there now. So they kind of switched everything out and put the TVs in there. So I did a lot of things for them and I can't remember the places that they put my stuff up in, but I'm all over the place. Atlanta, I got some stuff in Atlanta. Some places, and
all of my stuff, all of my creations, T-shirts that are coming. I have a language of my own. And little did I know that Tiffany was jotting down things that I say to create T-shirts. And I have a list of my own, because
and that's definitely to come.
It's definitely to come. And more. So just keep your eyes and ears open. You can reach her here on Facebook. Like she said, she's going to be putting all the contact information in comments. Patricia, I see you, and definitely I will, because Patricia has phenomenal poems, and she's looking for somebody to have lyrics to go with. So we can do that, Patricia. So on that note, we're going to go, y'all. I'm tired of talking. And how about Madison and Eli gave us a break? They gave us a break. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming into the room, spending time with us tonight. As always, my faithfuls, my newbies, the whole nine. So whatever you do, before you escape the room, hit that share button, because sharing is caring. I can't say it enough. I'm going to forever say it. Somebody somewhere needs to see and hear what the conversation was on tonight. So on that note, love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. Love you, mean it. Smooches.